Hello and welcome to Spookies, where we go boots on the ground looking for old history, really cool places and things like that. But today is butts on the seats, as you can see. A wee bit of a difference with a Spookies Live, the first ever Spookies Live. So if you're here, which I believe we've got a few people here actually, you're at the first ever Spookies Live, so welcome. Hello to Kathy. Hello, good to see you. Care. Oh my goodness, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. So, I should say this is the first ever live I've done. So please let me know if the volumes and things like that are all off, if I'm really, really loud, if I'm too quiet, things like that. Let me know and I can adjust it. Oh my god, it's the wild. Look at that. Wild man Gaz. Oi, oi. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Of course, Becky, of course. I should say that our own Becky is in the chat there as well. So yes, um, today is the first ever Spookies live. I should say why have I never done a live before? Because I never really had a reason to do a live before. But I thought I've got a wee reason now. I should try and speak more clear because I realise I'm speaking in the Scottish tongue. So I will try and be more clear. I need to remember that. But yes, I was going to re-watch an old video of ours in anticipation of a new visit that I was going to be making sometime in the next week or two. So I thought, why not watch it together if anyone wants to join me? And I'll leave it up as a video as well after I've done this. I thought if nobody joins me, then you can still comment in the video and leave your thoughts on things to look out for in that next visit, which I'm actually really looking forward to doing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And because it's Halloween, I mean, we are Spookies, it's almost Halloween, so I felt, why not do a wee live for a change? So yeah, that's some of the reasons behind it. And also because I know that it takes me so long to make these videos that the channel just goes dry and it feels like the channel's just died sometimes. So I felt, why not try and do something else on there to keep things moving and to show that we're still doing stuff all the time. Because I take so long to make these videos, it's on me. So I thought, yeah, why not share some of the other stuff? So I thought, let's watch this old video together. So hello, thanks. It's good to see you all here. It's really good actually, because I thought nobody would be here. So it's nice to see some familiar names in the chat. So thanks for joining me. Now I should actually say what video we're watching, I guess. It's an old video of ours from August 2023, I believe was when that was uploaded. It was one of my favourites at the time, still is, just because of some of the things in it, but I've not actually watched it in a while. So I'm looking forward to this, to refresh my memory on things to look out for when we're there. So yeah, it's the Gegan. So if anyone that's been around here for a while, and I know some of these names are Spookies or OG Spookies, so yeah, I know that some of you have been around at the time. So this is our old video. It's a place called the Gegan and a place called Seacliff Harbour, which I think are really interesting places, and they make me wonder how they were actually made, because it was said that they were carved out and things like that. But I thought we could watch this video together. It's 46 minutes long, so this whole live stream will probably be about, I don't know, an hour and 15 minutes maximum, I would imagine, and then that'll be that. But I thought we could watch it together, maybe share some thoughts on things to look out for or anything that we notice that maybe I never picked up on, and then when I go back there in the next week or two, I'll be able to look for that stuff and yeah, get a better look at it and see what we find. So, yeah, thanks. It's great. It's great that you're here, Cafe, as well. Thank you for joining. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, well, we get into this. Oh, and I should share as well that after the video is done, I'm going to give a short channel update, just to say some of the things that we've got coming up, the things that I'm working on, to show again that although the channel really goes quiet sometimes, there's always things ticking along there. and yeah, just to show you some of the things coming up. But without further ado, we'll maybe just get watching this then. And as I said, this is my first time doing this, so it might need to adjust the volume as we go. So if you could let me know in the comments if the video you think is too quiet or too loud, or if I'm too loud or too quiet in comparison or anything like that, I would really appreciate it, and I can fix it as we go, and hopefully then that'll be that. I'll remember those settings. Hopefully it'll be okay for most of these if we ever do another one, which might happen. So anyway, let's go. I'll see what we do with the volume as we go. But this is the Gegan from 2023. I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe it. Let me know if you can hear my voice over it. Let's compare it to my voice, I guess. That's good to hear the video's sound is coming through. Oh, hello from Italy. Oh my god. That's amazing. Well, greetings from Scotland. Great to have you here. Thanks for joining. And here's some of the things that's in that video, and anyone that's been following the channel a while, I guess, will know why we find it so interesting. Groovy indeed. Does anyone actually know where that quote's from? I always wondered if anyone... I'm sure most people... Well, a lot of people... I think I'm sure most people will know, but then that's because I'm around horror-y stuff all the time.
Hello and welcome to Spookies, Hunting for History. I'm Stephen.
And I'm Becky.
And this is the series where we explore Scotland looking for signs of hidden history.
Or... Wow. It's so difficult to hear your own voice sometimes, isn't it? Dearie me. But yeah, it's this bit actually on the screen right now.
Boots on the ground.
It's a really interesting
boots
bit.
On the sand.
It's probably just quarried away, but I really liked it. It was behind the car park, and yeah, it was just an amazing piece of rock cliff.
Of today. But yeah.
All covered in growth. I wanted to get a good look at it, but the ground was quite bad to walk around.
So today
things
we're
like
off
that.
to see the Gegan with its unique...
Another thing I should say is that I keep calling it the Gegan in this video. I always remember that as well. It's not called the Gegan. It's called the Gegan. So apologies for that. Cheers, guys. That's really good to hear. I really do appreciate that. Seriously. Fantastic. Thanks to everyone that's joining me, actually. I thought I was going to be sitting here on my own, so it's genuinely really nice to have people here, so thanks. But let's get on with this. Oh, as you can see, actually, yeah, so this is where it is, and this is where we are in Edinburgh. And I always wondered, it's really interesting because Seacliff Harbour is not that far as well from Bilsdean and other places that have been on their channel, which are somewhere around here. So it's all part of the same sort of coastline, and I always thought that was really interesting as well. That amount of nice things that was in that one area. So yeah.
Rock Cut Harbour, Seacliff Harbour. And if we just quickly look here, I wanted to show its location, like in situation.
There we go. I was speaking too soon. There we go. And that's basically what I was just saying. You can see them all there in the same area. Innerwick Castle. Yeah, that was the first ever video on our channel. But that's a great place, a really interesting place. More of what the rocks around it really, and what it's built on. But then Bilsdean, I love Bilsdean, as anyone would know. But you should check out the video on that area, the last one we did. I think that's really where we pull everything together. It's a really interesting area again. But I'm going to stop blabbing on.
Videos, because I think that's important to the bigger picture of what's going on. But yeah, as I said, we're off to see the Gegan. It's actually a rock formation standing just off the mainland at East Lothian here. It's got a really unique rock cut harbour. But we'll also be hunting down a lesser known castle of the area, so please stick around for that. But for now, here's Becky with some more information on the area.
Here's Becky.
So this area is known as Seacliff. According to Wikipedia, it includes a beach, an estate and a harbour. We'll be taking a closer look at the harbour in this video. As the area commands a strategic position at the mouth of the Firth of Forth, control of the area is said to have been contested through the ages, including various raids on the nearby Tintagel Castle. It is also said that troops were stationed here to stop the French landing
Wait,
on the
that
shore.
bit. So I see that again, mate. I'm good.
It
Sorry to
includes
rewind it. I
a
think I went too
beach,
far.
an estate, and a
And there's a bit there I
harbour.
wanted to point
We'll
out.
be taking a closer look at the harbour in this video. As the area commands a strategic position
is.
at the mouth of the Firth of Forth, control of the area is said to have been contested through the ages, including various raids on the nearby Tantallon Castle.
Inuit Castle is amazing. Inuit Castle is actually amazing. Fact, it is, Kerr. I agree with you there. I do agree with you on that one. Yeah, I wanted to pause it here because this big rock formation here, I always found this really interesting down there. There's like, I know it's just random, it's just a random shape there, but I always thought it looked like an eagle or a bird from certain angles. Again, I just thought it was a really interesting feature of the area.
It is also said that troops were stationed here to stop the French landing on the shores during the Napoleonic Wars in 1798. If you look at the maps of the area, you may notice an 8th century Christian missionary, St. Baldred's name allocated to
forgot about
several
him.
locations
St.
in the
Baldred.
vicinity. This is said to be because he was based nearby and
There it is. Do you see what I mean there? Like with the wee head. That's just me, but maybe not. I find it really interesting.
these areas is the Gegan rock itself, meaning Churchman's Haven. I think it said Gegan.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to pronounce it either. It's either Gegan or Gegan, it must be. But I believe it's a Gaelic word. So if anyone speaks Gaelic, feel free to correct us in the comments. It'd be really appreciated. I'm sure I'll by accident say Gegan later on, as I keep doing.
Yeah, it's good angles on
And I
that.
also should probably mention that these all the film footage you're seeing was recorded on 2 separate visits. I went once with Becky.
It is again. It's so strange, isn't
most
it?
of it we recorded, and I went back again with my dad, who you might have seen
It's
in
like
the
it's had a
Raw
rope
2 video.
round the bottom or something
but
like
we
that.
went back to capture some stuff that when I was watching the footage, I thought, oh, we should go back and grab that and stuff like that. So yeah, just wanted to point that out, and we'll make it obvious when that happens. But here we are.
It really is hard to hear your own voice, isn't it? Really difficult. Yeah. Oh, I've not seen the Angry Birds movie, you see. I'll need to watch it now. I'll do a comparison, side by side. We'll get that checked out.
Looking around, you just see the place is just a big rocky beach. Doesn't really look too out of the ordinary, I don't think. There's lots of places that look like this, I believe. But as I hope to show in this video, we think that a lot of this place, at least some of it, might actually be fabricated, and we'll get to that. There's some really interesting stuff coming up, so please do
Yes,
stick
there
around.
is. There is actually genuinely some interesting stuff,
And
so
here
do
is one
stick
of those
around.
interesting things that I do want you to look out for.
Now, I should say, my mind's kind of changed on some of this stuff. Not all of it, but some of it. I do think now that I've learned through time, I think that a lot of the things I point out could be natural, but I think there is a lot of it that I still think is really questionable.
Because the
I'll
amount
try
of
and make
times
that
it
clear
shows
though.
up, if I was to stop and point it out, this video would be so long, and it's already way too long. So yeah, I'm no geologist. I'm not sure what it is, but it appears like there's parts of these sandstone areas that there's just this strange material poking up. And at first I thought, it looked kind of messed up and, natural in some ways. It could be natural. But then there's parts where I found it really uniformed, and
I should say, by the way, these were the days before I wrote a script or anything like that, so I just used to put the footage together and chat with it most of the time. So I think that's why I say things like that. I find it cringy these days.
We'll show that later on, so that made me think otherwise. Pointing us to that conclusion that some of this could be fabricated.
There it is, that's the Gegan, that rock formation that you saw
There's
straight
Becky with
ahead.
some of our discoveries
That
on the
right
beach
there in the middle.
But also just wanted to point out this that I thought was really cool. Again, I'm no geologist, but it was just cool because it looked like there was a different sort of material between the sandstone, which I thought was really interesting.
I really do find that interesting. I would love to learn what that is, because it really is interesting the things that you find like that. It's like it really is like another material, you know. It's really flexible. It reminds me of like when you put a layer in like a brickwork, you know, and you've got the flexible stuff to stop the water. I don't know what they're called, but I remember things like that.
Just how it was flexible and stuff like that. Yeah, it just felt like something completely different from everything around it, and it was just in a straight line all the way along.
I mean, I'm sure there's a natural explanation, but I love all that stuff. I find it
Yeah,
fascinating.
thought it was really interesting. Just wanted to capture that and make note. And here's some more of that stuff that it kind of even looks like metal. And the reason I first started to take note of it now is because, you know, Paul Cook talks about some of that stuff.
Paul Cook, the legendary Paul Cook, of course. Got to give a shout out to Paul Cook. Or otherwise, I probably wouldn't be making these wee videos. So,
Iron
100%.
sheeting, and I'll come on to that later, but it started to make me.
You should check out his channel if you've somehow not heard of Paul Cook, which I'm sure everyone here has.
I also point out this really cool looking bit. I mean, look at this. On the sandstone wall, just how it's like going up and along, and I just find that stuff fascinating, you know, based on what we're taught is how it's formed.
Now I think this is probably just from quarrying and things like that. I think my mind's changed a wee bit, but I still find it really interesting with the lines and stuff. So I'm not 100%, but yeah, I just thought I should say that.
So yeah, I just find it really interesting, and I like to point out these bits.
Cafe, Paul Cook, I mean, he's a legend. Absolute legend.
And you know, this place has been, like many, quarried over the years, so it likely looks very different. It's changed a lot over the last few hundred years or whatever. So some of those marks could be from quarrying, and there's bits of like this, you know,
I do see it in
modern
this. That's
line here and there. So it shows you it's been used for different reasons over the years, and things have ended up here. But yeah, just wanted to give you a sort of layout of the land, if you know what I mean. I should say we layout do that of the land. On this channel, we try and show the real surroundings, try and give a feeling for the area. So if you're just wanting to fast forward and skip towards some of the juicy bits, just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, Paul Cook, legend. Like I remember, like he was the first one I really opened my eyes to the stuff in the UK. You know, all these sort of sandstone-looking structures. I thought it was fascinating. And wow, I think like many, he really inspired, you know, to go out and look. And yeah, I just felt I got that hunger, I think, and he was a big part of that, definitely. Yeah, Gaz. On the same path, that's the way I think that's the way I look at it,
We are back on the beach, and you'll see the Gregan behind Becky there in the harbour.
The Gregan, I said that again. In just a moment. Oh my goodness.
But just for now, we'll get a wee zoom in at the remains of Tantallon Castle up there on the cliff.
Look at that, that's amazing, isn't it? Tantallon Castle, that is. Maybe we should include that in the next video. So I should say, for anyone that's turned up maybe after this started, we're making another video on this area, and the reason I'm watching this is to find anything that we think we should have a better look at, or a closer look at, or things like that. So yeah, maybe we should go up to the castle for this next one and get some views from up there. I think that might be interesting. Perhaps. Let me know if you think that would be a good one. There we go. Let's proceed.
Said to have been built in the mid 14th century.
This
castle's seen a lot of action just because it's strategic location, and it's suffered a lot of damage in the 1600s. There you go. I just wanted to point out this because this reminded us a little bit of Bilstein. And what is that? Is that a bit wall? A little bit metal in there? It reminds us of this bit we saw back at Bilstein Waterfall in our second Hunters for History.
There's lots of similarities.
Okay, so if you've not seen that,
to this place,
check it out because there's some interesting things there, and it's just along the coast from here, really. Like we pointed out at the start of the video on the map. So another point.
Wait till you see what's coming up, though. It's mind blowing, some of the things.
Lines.
Truly, I believe.
But this one didn't look the same as others, but I still wanted to make note of it, partly because of that. It looked a lot thinner, but it's probably nothing, but something that I wanted to know.
Probably nothing, but something that I wanted to know. Look at that. You can tell it wasn't scripted. Yeah. It's true. I wonder how many sites have been lost to erosion and things like that. And they're probably covered up. Like, I believe, like, in our last video, we talked about Skara Brae. We were at Skara Brae, and that place was just a mound. It was just a hill for as long as, you know, people could remember, and then a storm damaged it and unveiled 5,000-year-old structures. Really incredible. I love stuff like that. Yeah, and it really makes you wonder what else is actually still out there, right? What else is still hidden, or what things have been exposed and eroded away that they're unrecognizable, just like you said. I find that fascinating. Yeah,
And
it
just
really
to give
gets
you
my
the little
mind
tour
going.
of the area, so there's Tantallon Castle on the cliffs, as I said.
I love the shapes of the
overlooking
cliffs. I find them really interesting. Like, I find them really, do you know what I mean? Like, really big and square looking, and then it goes back in, and then it comes back out. Because there's a few bits that I've visited already that's coming up on the channel soon, which have similar bits like that, and they really made me wonder.
Then as we pan round, you'll see there, that is the Bass Rock.
Bass Rock, and what video was it where we spoke of a man that had been imprisoned on there, I believe, for 2 years as well? I think that was the Wallace's Cave one. Check that out. But we spoke of an individual that had actually been imprisoned on that island for 2 years. Can you believe
Really
it?
fascinating looking place.
Wild.
I'd love to have a look at that up close. And then, of course, round there, you've got the Gegan itself.
Yeah, hoping for more discoveries.
Some of the unusual things in the area. Here's one that reminded us the shapes of the entrance to Wallace's Cave back at Roslyn Glen 2. Check that out if you've not seen it, but some of those shapes looked very similar. And then we've got this stuff again poking out between the ground, really, the sandstone. I mean, what is this? There was tons of this, some of it really thick, and some of it really thinner.
Drinking Mayan brew there, sorry.
It appeared like maybe different materials. Again, I'm no geologist, but it really did make me curious and made me question what was going on, especially when we saw it more organised and sort of uniformed later on. So keep a look out for that coming up.
I mean, look at all the stuff, eh? Look at it all. I know that's damaged, but like you're saying, bet you there's loads of stuff.
And just while editing, I just wanted to point out this interesting little shape.
These are the sort of things, by the way, that I don't point out anymore. Just tiny wee things like that, I guess. But I still like it.
A wee bit wildlife, of course. Would it be
I was going for the wildlife in this, but okay.
And
Where is
if
it?
you can make it out, there is actually a wee fish that we find swimming about in here. There was actually a few of them.
Oh yeah, there is.
But there he is there. There we go, just a cute wee fish.
Forgot about that. The wee bit wildlife.
In the wild.
We need a wee bit wildlife in a Spookies video.
And there's another look at the Bass Rock. Interesting place in itself, actually. Lots of history on there. And yeah, it's now a home to a large colony of gannets. So that's what a lot of the white things are you're seeing. White birds and white poo, I imagine.
I remembered I said that. White poo.
So we're just about at the Gegan now, but I wanted to point out...
I said it again. The Gegan. We should make a Gegan counter. I can't believe that. Oh, cheers, Gaz. Gaz shared my stream. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that, by the way. Look at these comments and stuff coming in. I really do appreciate it. I can't believe it. Thank you so much for joining me. And please do let me know if there's anything you see in this video that you think I should look out for on our next visit to this site, and look into a little bit more, perhaps. Because yeah, that's one of the main reasons I'm looking at this today. Because we're going to be going back within a week or two.
Some more of these interesting features again.
You know me through Paul Cook. Thank you so much to Paul Cook. He's been so good. He shared our channel, I think, a couple of times and given us some shout outs. So it's really nice to see that you joined us from Paul the legend. So thank you for that. It's good to have you.
I mean, if it's natural, it's really strange. I find it.
Yeah,
really
look at this stuff.
And also this sort of lighter line going all the way along, perfectly straight. As I said, this place has been quarried and things like that, but it just makes you wonder. And what was this? I mean, just so much of this stuff.
This is just a taste, by the way. Really I'm not just saying this, but some of the things.
It seems to run through the stone. Doesn't
some look of the
like
things coming up.
And there's an example there.
They still blow my mind.
So if you do know what this material is, please give a shout. Another really interesting point we found was this.
Becky, do you not think that reminds you of myself and Becky were on a tour recently of the famous Arthur's Seat. If you don't know Arthur's Seat, it's basically a massive extinct volcano that stands right in the centre of Edinburgh. And we were on a geology tour of Arthur's Seat, and at the end of it, the woman, she's famous actually, Scottish geologist. Is her name Laura, I think? But a Scottish geologist, look it up if you don't know. But Becky, she showed us some fossilised poo. Do you remember? Is it not what that looks like?
Look how smooth and
Oh, did you?
different the
Big
stone
thanks
looks
to Michelle.
here. I found really intriguing and something we thought we should include. And again, just some more of these lines. Look at this. It's like this looks like some sort of filled in clay pipe or something. It's really, really strange.
Yeah, that bit was interesting,
But yeah, please leave your thoughts on what the stuff is, or what the geology explanation for this is. And these are just our thoughts, so we're just showing you our data and just sharing our thoughts. And I know that everyone's going to have their own, so yeah, you don't need to agree with me. Just us thinking out loud.
It is just our opinions, because, and that's one thing I say is like, I guess as I got older and I think a lot of us are the same. When we grow up and we realize a lot of the things that we were taught, as fact were just sort of theories and things like that. So I find that really interesting. And that's what I think about geology sometimes. I think some of it could be wrong, or maybe they're not taking account of some of the things. It's really interesting.
And there really is loads of interesting things here to see. That's why this video is so long.
Oh my god. By the way, I have to say, that's the first ever time someone has donated some sort of money to us. That's amazing. Thank you so much, by the way. How lovely is that? That's wild. Thank you. The Abusement Park podcast. Legends. Incredible. Thank you.
Even longer, to be honest with you.
I can't see this. Things like that. That's wild, man. That's wild. Thank you. Really appreciated. Even just a small amount like that, I find it wild, because this is all just for fun to me.
Struggling
so
which to leave in and
really
take
do
out.
appreciate that.
And here's one of
people
those
enjoy
interesting
it.
things that we found. I mean, what is that?
How incredible is this? What is this? Is this a fossil or something coming out from under the ground or within the sandstone, do you think? That's what makes me think this bit's probably natural. What do you think that could be? Any thoughts? Wish I could send some pics on here. This red coloured rock is exactly the same as our beach in West Somerset. Well, wait till you see what's coming up, and I wonder if there's any other similarities. You never know.
In the rock? Is this an old fossil or something?
I'm hyping
and a
up,
view towards
but I really do
Castle.
believe some of it's worth the hype.
But here we are approaching the Gegan now.
The Gegan!
And I'll share some
I said
information
again.
about it as a walk up it. But for now, please do just enjoy the sights of it as we approach. You can really get the sense, I think, looking at it, that it could be just two big blobs of like a geopolymer type
Two
thing.
big blobs.
Just on first impressions. And very briefly, here's a look at the harbour. We'll be concentrating on this in just a little bit, so you'll get.
That is incredible, isn't it? That harbour is something special.
You'll see plenty more of this, don't worry.
I love it.
But here's a first glimpse at it, and look at that, it's so impressive. Said to be cut out the rock, who knows? Just to keep you updated with the layout of the land and where we're situated.
I don't know what I said there. I think I'm trying to say up to date. And I didn't go back and re-record myself. Sorry.
There's the Tantallon Castle again.
What a spot! Look at that! Look at that! Do you see that right in the middle of the archway? That's just incredible, isn't it? I find it fast. It's just fantastic.
There's the Bass Rock.
Perfectly positioned.
Again. And here is the Gegan.
The Gegan, I said it right. Celebrations. Celebrations.
So I just wanted to show some of these areas before we go up the Gegan. This area here where it looked like water was flowing at some point.
It really is, isn't it?
And things
Picture
like that.
perfect.
And then we've got just round the side here. Nice view.
Oh, I love this bit. Watch this bit, right? Coming up.
And
There's a
now
bit
we
where you
are
see the
actually
tide
travelling
change.
up
I think it's
the
a
Gegan.
great...
So
Gives some
please
great
enjoy the view.
perspective on it. Oh, we're getting a look at the top of the Gegan pit. That's great. I forgot about that.
So as you now know well, this rock is known as Gegan Rock, said to mean Churchman's Haven.
And I think I'm about to say it, but in those trees straight ahead, I bet you I'm about to say it, I think I am, but in the trees straight ahead, there's actually a castle in there, and we get a wee look at that in a bit. Oh my god, Care! What you did, thank you so much. That's genuinely really appreciated. That's really kind of you, pal. Cheers. I appreciate that. I hope to earn the money and try and put on a good wee streaming, make some good videos coming up. So I'll keep at it. And here we go.
Allegedly named
Thank you so
after
much.
St Baldred, Becky spoke about earlier. According to canmore.org.uk, there were excavations in 1870 here that uncovered the foundations of an ancient
Look at that. I will definitely get a look at
building
that in the next
and its
one. Up
accompanying
close.
kitchen midden. Unfortunately, now no trace of the building can actually be seen. There was several artifacts that were found during this time, including both animal and human bones, an almost complete Roman amphora, and a comb that was decorated with some early Scottish symbols described as a crescent and spectacle shape. We assume these are the ancient Pictish symbols of the old.
There they are, the Pictish symbols there. And they have popped up in a few of our videos now. They popped up, in a few spots, and I find them interesting. I love the mystery that we are not sure what they mean. So, any thoughts, any ideas that you have are just as valid as anyone else's, really, of what these are. I think it's fascinating. If you've got any ideas, please let us know. I find this one fascinating with the two circles. The top one there, it's the double disc and it's Z-Rod, I think they would call it. I find them mysterious. I'm not sure what to make of it.
Sort of half moon looking thing.
I've got a few ideas myself,
and the
but
double disc shapes.
maybe I'll do a wee video
We've
on that
actually got a
one day.
video where we go visiting some Pictish stones in Scotland that we made before we done these Hunting for History videos, so go and check that out if it's your cup of tea. But yeah, this comb is actually said to also feature a man playing a serpentine, which I found interesting. It's said to be actually in the museum, the museum here in Edinburgh, so we will see if we can track that down for a future video.
We did actually track that down. I think it's in a short, if I'm remembering correctly. So if you do want to see the comb, check out our shorts. I think we put one out on that. But yeah, it didn't have the serpentine on it, so I don't know where that story came from. But it was still a fascinating thing to see. So yeah, there's a short. I'll share it after this. I'll share it as a post if anyone wants to see that. So look out for that.
Look at that, eh? Look how far down it goes, and surely this must be why the area is called Sea Cliff, just because there's a cliff in the sea. But really, really nice area,
amazing.
and when the tide...
So yeah, as I was just sort of saying there, there's like a drop-off,
goes
as
out,
I understand
which you'll
it.
see in a moment, because when we were with my dad, it did go out. For a wee bit, you'll see that you can actually... a lot of that's exposed. And if you stick around to the end of the video, we're actually going to go venturing over to those trees over there, because there's a castle hidden away in the middle of them.
I knew I mentioned it at some point.
Stick around.
There we go.
So making our way back down now to get a closer look at some of the things down here. And I just wanted to make a quick note of another one of those lines, and look how far this one goes. If
Yeah, that one's incredible. Look at that.
It's incredible. Goes straight up the middle there, in the middle of the screen.
Amazing. Look, right up the centre. I love bits of that.
If you take a look at this was with Becky when the
Here
tide
it
was
is.
in. And here it is, the same location
Always
with the
liked
tide
that
out,
bit.
although I did venture a little bit higher up to get this view. And here's a look at that. I mean, look at that. It's just incredible, isn't it? There's all sorts of stuff going on there, and that's on top of yet another sort of sandstone area. I mean, look at all the shapes. You look at it too long, you think you start seeing footprints and stuff like that.
They are interesting though, aren't they? The shapes. I do find them. There's a lot of similar patterns. They could just be natural, what happens with erosion and water and things like that. But I do find it fascinating. It always makes my brain
it is a
brain
great
travel.
bit to explore again. We're going to go down there in just a second and get our boots on the stone and have a proper look.
Boots on the stone.
So this is us down below now, getting
What's
a
on
good
the
look
seats?
at the
That's
Gegan
what
from
it
a
is
different
today.
perspective. So it was really worth coming while the tide was out, I think. But I'm going to disappear for a bit and...
Now that's one of the things that she did speak about on the geology tour, isn't it, Becky? She spoke about these intrusions and things in the rock. We learned a wee bit about that stuff, but I still question these ones, you know? It's not exactly the way she described it to us, and that's why I still find it fascinating.
To have a wee chat about. But until then, please do enjoy these views.
It's a truly magical spot, by the way. If you ever come to even Edinburgh, this isn't even far out a drive from Edinburgh, so if you're ever visiting Edinburgh and you happen to have access to a car, well worth visiting some of these areas at East Lothian. East Lothian, loads of lovely places out there. Well worth it. Yeah, I agree.
Just wanted to point out
brain
this
travel.
strange curved sort of lower area in the rock. You'll see it extends along a bit, so just wanted to point it out.
Yeah, check out Gaz's channel, Wildman Army, definitely. I love your channel, mate. There was one of your videos that's I meant to share it. It was it was a really similar stone, like cut out, how would you call it? Like a house sort of thing, like a cut out rock house. I thought that was one that I thought was fascinating because at the time it was very similar to some of the ones that we were looking at in Scotland, and I thought, wow. Find that really interesting how similar they were. So yeah, check out Wild Army UK, 100%.
Please, if you notice anything around about that we've not, please do put in the comments. Much appreciated.
Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And we'll know what to look out for next time with this place. I'll keep this video playing now. I'm doing too much yakking. We're not even halfway yet. My dad filmed this bit, I believe. I do remember my dad came on one of these visits and he filmed this bit, I believe. Really cool. Don't you just love the sound of the waves? Must have been what that guy just heard over on that, when he was prisoner on that island for 2 years. Jeez, that would have been all you heard. That and birds squawking, I believe. Imagine. But yeah, Sea Cliff. So there's meant to be like a big drop at some points. So I'd love to get a look under there. I'd love to be able to do
that wee scenic break there. Just looking
underwater
at
diving, right?
Talon Castle and over at the Bass Rock. And we're just going to continue a wee walk around here before I go back over onto the Gegan and
yes, Cafe, I was there.
While the tide's out to
Guilty.
walk around the corner just a wee bit, just to have a look.
I left a few comments in that live stream. I love that channel. I watched that channel. You know, he does the big long videos. I watched that channel when I was redecorating a wall, and it really just made it such a breeze, you know. I'm glad I paused it here, because this is a good look at this spot on the Gegan here, which to me, it looks like, I know, again, it sounds wild, and I might not point it out if it was only one, but to me it looks like some sort of head of some sort of, I don't know, serpent or dragon or something like that. That's the way like it appears, like maybe it's been carved like that, or Maybe it's just naturally like that. But I found it really interesting with the, you could see like what looks like an eye and then like a snout pointing out towards the left. And the reason I point this out is because there's an actual, and I'm not just saying this, it's things like this that make me go, am I going crazy? Because there's an actual spot at the Bilstein that looks almost identical to that. I'll try and arrange a comparison sometime, but I was meant to point that out. I found it really interesting. And Bilstein, as I pointed out at the start, it's not too far from here. The other place that looks like this. So yeah, it really makes me wonder, you know, it could all just be natural, but it's good to, I don't think it does any harm to question
Now,
it.
you're right to already be noticing this strange rock sticking out of the rock. Look at that. Well, that's calling
Some of
it
these
rock, I don't know what it
intrusions,
is,
yeah.
but something there sticking out. And if you actually look, it goes all the way along and conveniently ends at a sort of section there. Look, where it goes in a bit. So it's like it could be two sections, and that was a separation joint, Mark. I just wanted
And
to
it was
point that out.
bits like that made me question actually, because there's some really obvious bits
Because
coming
there's
up.
bits of this
Some
all
really
over
good
this
bits.
structure, and I'll try my best to point them out
I
to you.
find it mind blowing actually. Similar
But here
bits
we
to
are, the
that,
bit
but
that I said
way
we
more
walked around
obvious.
to, and close to where we were standing up on the peak of the Gegan. So you'll see here at the edge.
There we
I mean,
go,
it's
like
just
the
like
sea
a sudden
cliff.
drop at a certain point.
I would love to learn to do scuba diving and go down there with a camera and see what it looks like, right? Maybe that's what I need to start doing, is learning
Although
to
it appears to be like that,
dive.
and just a great spot. I mean, it's so
I do worry though, because I remember, Becky, do you remember this? We were away on Sky once and we watched, I think it was on Sky, we were watching the television and there was a television show about people that were stuck out at sea. It was real life and it was here that they floated out from. So
intriguing, mysterious.
it kind of put me
Really
off.
don't know what to make of everything, if I'm honest. But you'll see when we get up top, there is some really sus parts. I mean, and here's one down here. This right angle really reminded me of a lot of things we saw at Roslyn Glen, and it really makes my mind
That's it. Yeah, I can't pronounce that word. But yeah, that thing where your brain naturally sees a face in objects.
just wonder.
It's really
Like,
interesting,
what
isn't
is
it?
going
How
on?
it does
What
that.
is all these old stuff like? It's just incredible. Now here's a much closer look with really interesting features on the side of the Gegan. Remember, this is a part you'd only
Yeah,
see
look at
with the
that.
tide out, and if you're
Almost like one of
willing
those,
to shimmy all the way around, like what I've just done.
I don't know what you call them. My mind went blank. Nubs. There he is. There's my dad standing away, probably filming that bit that we just watched. Incredible the size of that Tantallon castle, that is. Wow.
So one last walk round before we
Can't
go
wait
to
to
the
go
harbour,
back.
and
Wow.
just showing you some of the interesting features of this bit. I mean, look at this. This, first of all, I thought this was metal. It looked like some sort of metal in there. Could it be iron?
Could
Something
test
like that. I
that
don't
with
know.
the metal detector.
But,
That's
yeah,
something we
looks
could
like something
do
rusting away. Maybe not.
when I go
Maybe
back.
it's just me. And here's some of the interesting things that I said looked like footprint, but just pointing them out on the way past. And look at the lovely views. There's a Bass Rock
Yeah.
and Tantallon Castle in one view
There's
there.
a lot. There's a lot.
And we're just making
Becky.
our final way around
Yeah.
this edge here, and you'll see there's a really interesting part here.
This bit's incredible.
I don't know what it is. Is it more metal? Unsure. But take a look.
Now, this is very similar to a bit that we've got coming up, where it's almost like there's 4 or 2 bits meet that run over like a junction. This bit's less obvious, but there's a bit
Don't know
coming
what's
up
going on
that
there.
really makes you question if it's natural, because I don't... You'll see what I mean when we come to it. That's us just hit halfway now, I have to believe, yeah. We're getting there. There was that
We're
face up
going to
ahead.
start concentrating in more on some of these strange lines that I think might be sort of partitions. I'm not saying all of them are, and I'm just saying that they could be, and because they run right through the rock, and there's parts
It's really
as I'll show you
interesting, isn't
coming
it?
up, that are very, very intriguing and definitely look artificial. And look at this. Could this be similar to what
Like a
Paul Cook
pipeline, I bet,
describes
yeah.
as iron sheets
It
going
was.
between
And these
sections of
bits with these,
geopolymer?
I mean, these lines could be natural, and they probably are, but I find
It
it
really
interesting
just
how they're and at parts they're kind of equally spaced. I'll really look out for that
looks
next time I
similar to
go.
me, but I'm unsure. Let us know what you think in the comments, please. You'll see it sticks out of the rock, and usually when you find this in this area, it does it. You can follow it, and it will go right along for a long distance.
Yeah, I mean the lines really do go really long, as you'll see coming
Look at
up.
that, right up close. What is this stuff?
Some of them.
Or what was it really? Because it could be so old that it's just turned to whatever it is.
I
mean, look
understand,
at it.
yeah, you get
It's
these intrusions where like it's meant to be that, there's a different rocks kind of squeezing up where it can and amongst existing rocks, as they're being
really
formed.
remarkable stuff, and you'll
And
find
that's
sections
often a
like
lot
that
of
quite
the
often where it crosses another one.
reasons for this.
And as you'll
But
see coming up, we
there's
found a
there's parts that are really suspicious
really
angles. Wait
uniformed
till you
one,
see
so
them.
stick around.
Service channels, possibly. See, but that's my theory is, right? I say theory, that's why I think of this place is, if it was something old, and then this would just be like foundations. This would be, there'd be hardly anything there. That's the way I think of it, and we're just looking at, and yeah, this
You'll
bit is
also
like
notice
bends
that
in the
these
rock.
material,
But look,
whatever it is
you'll see what I mean
sticking
with
out.
some of the interesting
It
points.
comes in different thicknesses, so sometimes it's really thick, like there, and then other places.
As I said earlier on, I do believe there's a lot of things here that are natural now that that before I would have questioned, but I also became more sure of other
It's
parts
quite thin, really,
that I
very
don't
thin.
believe that
So I
about.
just was
Parts
really
kind of like
intrigued by
this,
it. And if this
actually.
is natural, then it's amazing. But I really don't think this is natural, and I don't know what it is. So yeah,
Because this
please
is
do put your thoughts in
connected
the comments, because
to a
much
really
appreciated
interesting spot coming up.
But alongside the harbour that you'll see coming up, it was these that really made us think there's something else going on here. Because there's parts that are just really, really strange, and it really do
There's
not
Beckett.
look like a natural formation. I mean, even this.
Look at that. So it's just so flat. That's what I mean. It's almost
Look
like
at
it's
this, completely
split
flat
into
down one
sections.
side, and then and then it completely goes in a right angle up the other direction.
Incredible,
it
isn't
really
it?
does look like a wall of something, or some sort of.
The way I sometimes think of it is, it's almost like it's just been filled in with like sand, if it was something, and then it's all turned to rock or whatever. It's wild.
Casing for whatever poured into
It's
it.
like that.
And look
Make
at
me
this.
wonder.
It's clear as day there. You can see the join, and it runs for ages. Now we'll get a good look at this sort of triangle section in just a second, but I wanted to make note of these two sort of metal points of the harbour there, just to show how
amazing is that,
metal
right?
just look how it just erodes away here at the sea
And-
air.
And those bits are, like I say, modern additions. They are clearly modern additions, those two
yeah.
bits for part of the
Look
harbour.
at
But
this.
look at how much it just deteriorates away. It's amazing.
This really is a good example, in my opinion, of what I'm talking about.
We've got a picture of
It
that.
looks
Yeah,
like
look at that.
two lines, two sections, two partitions with something poured in it. Now you'll see
Think like
coming up
Petra.
one of the most interesting examples we found of this. I mean, look at that.
This is the point that really gets my mind going, because it's so perfect. And when you look at it,
And you can follow these lines.
I find that bit fascinating. I would love to get an aerial view of this area, just to see if these lines do form anything, or if it is just natural and pretty random, Scottish Balta, like the Paul Cook stuff. Some of it is similar to some of the things he showed, isn't it?
Really far in different directions.
Look at
But
that.
it looked like a join where four of
I just can't believe that's natural. I really don't believe it, That's the part that really made me question the other parts, the other lines in there, and got me a little bit paranoid. And I do believe I started questioning a lot of natural points. But I also do think there's a lot to be said for some of the points that they might not be natural, Yeah, Cafe, that's what I think. I just don't think so. I can't accept that without a really good explanation anyway, and I
These
genuinely would
whatever they
like to
are,
hear
meat. And
what the
we do
reason
think
is.
that they're partitions of some sort, like how Paul Cook is spoken about
And there's
these
more to come.
iron sheets separating geopolymer. Now I don't know if it's iron. I don't know what the substance is or was, but
Another wee shout
it
out to
really
Paul
makes a
there.
lot of sense when you start looking at it from that sort of perspective with that theory in mind. It starts to paint a different picture, I think, of the area when you notice things like that. And look at this. Here's
Wow, that's really interesting. There's a guy on YouTube who does LiDAR investigations. He's found ancient drainage systems that have obviously been attempted to be hidden, like plastered over, and they claim it's a quarry or whatever. That's really interesting. Almost, I think that's the way that you could explain somewhere like this. I do believe,
another
Um,
example of how metal just gets destroyed
I agree with that.
in
That's really
this
interesting. I'll
sea of
need to
air.
check
I
that
mean,
out.
this felt like wood when you touched it. Yeah, that's
It really did, by the way. And I realised I've just interrupted my amazing joke, which when I press play you'll get to hear. But yeah, it really did feel like wood when you tapped on it. It was just
what
crumbling
she
away.
said. But seriously, it was really interesting to see because I've never really seen metal get worn down to such a state where it's just so brittle and doesn't feel like metal anymore. That's all.
Yeah, you want to drop that in? Nice water. Here we can see it. There's a fish. I don't think you can actually see the fish on the version we uploaded, but in our actual footage you can see fish on this part, and they're shimmering in the light.
There we go. A wee bit more wildlife for you. See, I knew one wee tiny fish wasn't going to be enough.
Wee bit wildlife, because it wouldn't be
So this is
Spookies without a wee
actually
bit wildlife, would
Seacliff
it?
Harbour. It's said to be the UK's smallest harbour, with the entrance measuring only 3 metres across. And we were interested to see how deep it went while we were here, so we jumped a shell in. And you can see when it just stops, so it's not too much further to be honest. So it's not too deep. And there was actually people jumping in there today.
There was.
And that's in Scotland, so that's saying quite a lot. Yeah, brave people. Anyway, the official...
Yeah, I can't believe people were in there, because even walking in the water at Bilstein, that time into Lady Hall's pool, earlier this year, when was that, Becky? Was it March or April or something like that? That was way too cold, and I can't believe people go in here, but I find it really
The story
difficult.
says it was constructed in guess what year? Only 1890 by Andrew Laidley, who was said to be the then laird of the land. It said that he used a steam engine and compressed air to cut the stone. I mean, can you imagine how much stone would have to be removed out of here to cut this actual harbour? I don't buy it. I think if
1890.
anything, he's cut the
That's
stone
wild.
blocks that you see around it, that you've seen as we've been looking around it, that you can see there actually.
Welcome,
just on the
Rosalind.
screen. Maybe. If he did anything, then maybe he did that. But come on. I mean, remember, this is only said to have been cut out here 130 years ago. Can you imagine some...
So yeah, so that was cut out, apparently, with using steam or something, some sort of steam engine. They say they cut out this harbour, this guy.
guy just
Yeah.
doing that with a steam engine and
I find
compressed
that
air
difficult to
himself?
believe, I really do.
Nah. If anything, he cut those blocks, and he found this place. If even that. At least
Yeah.
that's what we think anyway. And look at it, it is really impressive, but we do think this is one of those old worldy sort of constructions, and I'm talking old.
Yeah, so obviously this part's been built, and that's what I believe maybe the person who said they'd done work here and built it into a harbour did.
And these
Maybe,
blocks, to
you know.
be fair, they are great, but they are not the harbour. This harbour must have already existed. I mean, I'm so certain of it just by looking at this
line
stuff.
there.
Look at this line. This one goes all the way up the Gegan.
So there's
I mean,
some really
it goes
impressive
all the
ones
way
coming up.
It's
When we look at
fascinating,
this
and it's
harbour.
so straight, and look at that, and look straight ahead of it. Look at that,
There's
straight
one that
ahead of it. You'll see
boggles my
there's a
mind.
line straight ahead of it as well. And when you actually look,
So you might be able to see that what I'm trying to say there is it's almost like sections. So on the left, at the left of the first arrow, that would be one section, and then in between that and the next arrow, you can see like another section between the lines, and then again on the right, it's almost like there's another section between the lines. I find that really interesting, personally. Where is this? This is a place called Seacliff Harbour, out at East Lothian in Scotland. Or also known, this big rock here is known as the Gegan Rock. So if you type any of them in, it should show up. It's a good place to visit.
There's actually a spread of them all the way up. Really intriguing. And it really makes you think, what is going on?
Makes me think that.
Here we're going down to just get a closer
It makes all
look.
us
You'll see
think.
there's another pool there on the left, back there. But here it is from the other angle. You'll see Becky standing over there. Now keep your eye on all the lines going everywhere.
Yeah, so this one running up the centre here. This is another really good spot of these lines. So you'll see it going up the centre of the screen
straight
there.
line ahead, then the one straight left, and then another one goes straight up. Very intriguing.
It is like
when you start
separate
to look at
sections,
you
isn't
can
it?
see that they're all in sections, just as Paul Cook talks about. Very intriguing stuff. When I originally came here, I wasn't sure if this was steps or if it was just a slope or a rugged sort of rocks going down into the water. But
No
when I
problem,
came back,
thanks for
I could
being
see
here.
clearly this was some sort of steps. Look at that. We'll get another look at it later from the other side, so stick around. But
Arc
this
steps
I found so intriguing.
into the
I
water.
mean, they go pretty deep, those steps, so
Apparently.
it makes you wonder, were they built before the water was at this level? I really don't know. I really do not know what's going on. But again, just watch out for these lines. And here is the other pool. We'll get a good look at that in a wee moment.
This is the
But
spot
before
that
we
I
do,
love.
just want to take another look at the
Wait till you
harbour.
see it. It's coming up.
And here is
I find
some
it
of the interesting
mind-blowing.
shapes. Again, going into it, and this whiteness always ends up at these places. I noticed there's a few bits like that.
Like the red
And
granite.
there's the blocks. To be fair, they're really
They
nice.
say this is
I do
the
really
sandstone
like them.
here, so
But here's the harbour,
it is
and I
like
like
that. It
that
looks like
a lot
it.
better. And please do keep in mind when you're watching this to look out for the lines that we're talking about, because some
Yeah, they're everywhere. Like you can see another one on the left, right at the edge. There you might be able to see it on the left of that piece of
it's
stone.
so clear
Another line.
that you can see it travelling through. It's a
I mean, it could just be
partition
natural geology, but I
through
like
the
to point it
rock,
out
and
because
it
I
is
think it's
absolutely
fascinating.
incredible.
Some of the points, as we pointed out,
And
that
you
make
know,
you wonder if it could not be natural, and that's why I
there's a
point it out.
geological explanation for that. I really would like to hear it, because I would love to understand it better, but honestly, I can't see past it. It really does look like partitions to us. And if this was a geopolymer thing made by some previous civilization that we have no idea about, then think about just how old it actually is.
There we go. You can see them there. You might have saw them anyway. They were very slight. Some of the fish, that was. They were very slight. On my screen, anyway.
There you go. Even more wildlife for you. Even more fish. But yes, please do take a look at this amazing little point. This really points at what I'm trying to say. Look at this. You can see it running all the way up. Up further
Thanks.
up high.
Banter by
And
Big
you can
Chris.
see a rustic sort of look. And you can see
I
the
agree.
sandstone
I
sort
think
of
there's
formed
something
up
going
around
on
it.
here, but
It is
I'm not sure
fascinating.
what.
Yeah, I think it is just incredible. And when you see it goes all the way down there too, look, I hold the camera out, and that's the curves that you see going down the wall.
Maybe next time I need to try and get in there and get a
all the
proper
way
look on the
into
inside.
the water. Fascinating stuff, right? And I have to say, if it wasn't for watching Paul Cook talk about all this stuff, I probably wouldn't
Another Paul
believe
Cook mention,
what
look
I'm
at
looking at. Because your mind wanders and stuff, but
He is
you just
he is
sit
the
there
boss,
thinking,
and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing
but
this.
yeah,
Making a wee
so
video about this.
I think there's a lot of truth to what he's saying, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, look.
because I think there's so many similarities to what he was saying about a lot of the things he points out. About partitions and sandstone and things like that.
Look at that. One feature there I've not mentioned yet properly is this little piece of water running up to the land. I'll get a better look at that.
And speaking of Paul Cook, actually, I mean, could this channel of water be for something? Do you know what I mean?
In a wee bit.
I wonder.
But here's the second pool coming up, and you can see more of these lines on the ground. Just incredible, right? And this second pool wasn't too deep. I got a better look at it when the tides were down, and the next day it looked clearer, strangely enough. And it, yeah, here's more look at that stuff. I mean, look at that. What is this? What is this? This is the pool here. Now, this has one of the most interesting features.
This is my favourite. Right, this is the part where I really wonder, and I think this is one of the clearest parts where it shows what might be described as an intrusion or something like that in the stone, but where it's placed and with this point here removed into a pool and things like that, and you'll see how far the line on the right of the screen goes. Wait till you see this.
Look at the lines of the land again.
Look at that.
Just
That's
watch
incredible.
these lines, and I'm going to
it really
follow
makes me
this
wonder.
one here all the way along. Now watch this.
Right to the edge, actually.
You can see there clearly the line, flat line, and continues along, continues along, continues along. Look at that. Incredible. I mean, look at that. It looks like two separate pieces of land with a partition going down it. It is just mind-boggling, right?
Yeah, you can find me on, you message me on Instagram if you've got that, or there's actually an email address in our description, so you can always get me on that as well. I would love you to share a video. I would really appreciate that.
Absolutely fascinating stuff.
Thanks.
And by the way, did he just decide to cut this when he made the harbour? Like, what was this for?
Yeah, what is that for? It's because they say that he cut out the harbour and things, but why? What was that cut for? Was it maybe it was to keep his catch fresh to swim around?
And
in?
here's another
It's a lot of
interesting
work, though.
feature to note, just, with the mindset, if this place is fabricated. And we realised from Becky's
It's cut out to catch fish. The Romans did it. Interesting. I will look into that for the next one, actually. I think that's a really good point. Thanks for sharing that.
flowing technique, that this end was actually deeper than the other end. Just another interesting wee feature.
Nice one, thanks, Big
Please
Chris.
enjoy some of the pictures from the area before we move on.
It's a really lovely area, actually. I'd love to widen the search on the next one as well. So next 2 weeks I'm going to be visiting there again. So I'm going to widen the search a bit. Like bits like this now, I do believe could just be natural, cracks breaking off. Like, as I've seen things like that now, but bits like this, look at it.
Here's a good look at the bit of water that comes all the way in, and that's like a slope that goes all the way up until the water stops. Now this is the same stretch of water, just we went to the left of it, and we're now looking over to the harbour. And if we jump forward to the time I went there when the tide was lower, you can get a wee bit of a better look at the steps. I mean, look at this place, it's absolutely incredible. And I'm seriously considering how realistic it could be to actually go under the water and have a look around this.
I'm being serious about that. I would love
but yeah,
to do that.
No promises, but it's something that I think would be really fascinating to see.
No promises
like
yet.
There. And I do just realise I've landed myself in another "that's what she said" joke.
Oh dearie me. There he is, eh?
Before we turn our attention to the castle, I just want to point out that when I went back with my dad, we took advantage of the tide being lower to walk a little bit further around, nearer towards Tantallon Castle. And these are some of the things we saw. This remarkable floor, I mean, look at that.
Yeah, the iron crank is just
pottery or something, and it was underneath.
Disintegrating, it's gone. It's
so
turned to stone, as you say.
And
when I touched it, though, it was really brittle.
And then we've got this bit. It's just
it was
like
wild. Some of it,
water.
parts of it anyway,
were.
Like you said, parts of it were just
I thought, but there was
solid,
just some
turned to
horrible
stone.
stagnant water sitting there, and rotting away with some modern sort of rubble. But here is just round the corner.
If the guy was using a steam-powered machine, it could cause cracks, maybe. And as ice got into the cracks, it could do things.
Little piece of water there. And we did actually find a couple of interesting points.
There it is again. That's amazing, isn't it? The Bass Rock. Again, where I forget the guy's name. I will remember. There was a man in, there was a prison there, so it sounds like people were imprisoned there at one point. Could you imagine that? Trying to escape. I don't know if it would be worth the risk.
Again, more of this stuff. This one looking very straight, and you can still see a bit of the actual stuff there, hidden away under the seaweed. You can follow it going round, and as you see, what looks like rocks actually starts to form sort of shapes and stuff. Really interesting.
You're very welcome
Just a little,
here.
wee feature that we found
Thanks
in
for
there.
joining us, genuinely.
But I wanted to show this. I thought this looked
Share any
like
thoughts
rust.
you've
It's
got
gonna be
on
hard
anything
to
you
see.
see, because we're going to be revisiting this place. I'm going to be revisiting this exact place in the next week or two. So it's going to be great. So if you see anything that you think I should look out for, let me know.
Picture. But in person, you could really tell there was some sort of metal there, or at one time. It's just orange stainage all the way around it. And it was one of those lines. It was one of those lines, so it was really intriguing. And it really got...
Did you see that? I wonder if I can rewind that. I never noticed that before. I think I've went too far. I've never noticed that before. It was really funny. I want to point it out.
Again, more of this stuff. This one looking very straight, and you can still see a bit of the actual stuff there, hidden away under the seaweed. You can follow it going round, and as you see, what looks like rocks actually starts to form sort of shapes and stuff. Really interesting. Just a little wee feature that we found in the area.
Right, I'm
But
going to
I
try and
wanted to
catch
show
it.
this. I thought this looked like rust. It's going to be hard to see in a picture, but in person, you could really tell there was some sort of metal there.
Sorry, it's just a silly observation. I just think it's funny that when I paused that, there happened to be a bird right in the centre of the screen. I just find stuff like that funny. A wee bird shadow, look at that.
Or at one time, it's just orange stainage all the way around it. And it
Wee
was
bit
one of
more
those
wildlife.
lines. It was
And I
one
didn't
of those
even know
lines,
it.
so it was really intriguing, and it really got me thinking.
I believe a lot of this could be natural from what I learned on that geology tour that we did. But a lot of the other stuff with the right angles and the perfect crossovers, I do question that. And the lines, like the almost like partition. Oh.
So if you're still here, congrats and thanks for sticking around. We're now off to see Oldham Castle, or at least we're going to try and
Oldham
find
Castle.
it. It's
I believe there's a channel called Drone Man Scotland, and they just put up a more recent video of Oldham Castle. So
in
if
those
you
trees that I pointed
find this
earlier on
interesting,
from the Gegan.
go
So,
watch that, because they've
yeah,
got an
there's a
up-to-date
wee bit
video,
of it
but
poking
this
out,
will show you some
we
of what it's
noticed
like.
as we were approaching, so we
really
knew
good.
we were on the right path. And this is a little trail that comes up from the beach, and you can follow it back
Iron
down
vein.
to the road. And if
Could
you
be.
go up,
I
follow
think
the
you're probably
road,
right, things like
you'll
that.
eventually come to the spot where
I'll bring the metal detector next time as well.
you have
That's
to
something I'll
then
do,
just go
definitely
up
I
and
will
walk
do
through all
that.
the trees until you start to see the remains. And you know, I find ones like this both magical and tragic, that it's just left to rot out there on its own. But also, there's something magic about it, when it just gets taken back by nature and it's hidden away. I mean, there's no signs for this or nothing. We actually found this by accident when I was looking at Google Maps. And you know, sometimes you zoom right in and something will just show up that doesn't usually, and that's when I found it. So we thought, we'll go find this thing.
I love finding places like that, don't you? Just zooming in on Google Maps.
Here's our first sign of it.
Finding
This
somewhere
amazing
random.
archway. You know, you can see it's seen way better days. But here's a nice close-up look at it. And it makes you wonder, really, what the setup here was. This the
I've only got
entrance
6 minutes
into
left on this
the
video now.
land?
And I'll give a wee
Similar to
channel
how
update
those
after this, and
lone
that will be
standing
it for
arches
today, I'm afraid.
were
But
entrance to the land back at Wilmot House and our
yeah, check out
Old
Oldham
World
Castle
Edinburgh
first.
video. But look at this, such a
Look at these
amazing
photos.
looking wee bit.
It's worth visiting it just to get a photo there. Do you not think? What a lovely...
Really, really
Do you know what I
lovely.
mean? What a lovely backdrop.
And you can see some of the details on it. So although it's weathered, you can see
People would pay to get that in their
There was
garden, I believe
once
it.
some details and nice little features on it. Really just weathered down now. And you can still see the hinges from the gate that used to be there at one time.
This place is just left to get completely overgrown. A real magical place. So yeah, these are all in the one area, remember. So this is in the group of trees that we pointed out earlier
here
on.
is actual building itself of Aldham Castle. There's not much remaining. The upper floors and all that are inaccessible. Can't get there really. Well, if you were really brave, you could climb up. But as you'll see, the thing is seen way better days, and it actually does look quite dangerous at parts. There is still a cellar
really is,
remaining though, so I'll have a wee look around that before walking around to the front of the building, where Becky will share some of the things that we managed to dig up about this
Took
place.
one of my favourite photos in here actually.
Here we are in
You'll see it.
the
It's
cellar,
in this video.
part that's still standing. At least I believe
I'm
it's
looking
a cellar.
forward
Look
to
at
seeing
that.
it
Look
again
how
because I've
dangerous
actually
that
not
actually
seen
is.
it.
A big chunk of the archway right at the top is missing, and somehow this thing's still standing like that. We could tell that people came here, there was some old fire bits lit and stuff like that, so people must have been chilling out here, having a good time. We did wonder what this wee bit was, though, because you could smell
It really is tragic, isn't it? It really is. Could you imagine doing that up? That could be like an amazing... Imagine that
a
place.
burning smell. It's like there's been fires and stuff.
It really makes me wonder what it was like back when it was, in its full existence. And I don't think I've not seen any pictures of what it was like on the inside. I would love to see that.
Here, you'll see the block marks around it. It's quite a cool wee bit, isn't it? I thought this whole castle was amazing, to be honest. Really atmospheric. It being half destroyed made it even more atmospheric. I mean, look at this.
Here it is.
This reminded me of something out of The Last of Us video game or something like that. The tree has like grown in and then decided, and turned round and headed back for the light. I mean, how amazing is that?
That's really amazing, isn't it? That the tree realised that.
It's
fascinating.
I mean, there's something just mind-boggling to me about visiting these sort of places, where it's completely taken
Limmy would not like the way I'm speaking there.
back by nature.
Places,
And it's still a man-made structure, and it really makes you wonder, like, what it was like back then, and how long ago it was, because it must have been. I mean, it must have been so long, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
I'll check
I
you
wonder
out.
what it looked like.
Appreciate that.
Just fascinating stuff. But anyway, we are almost done here, so I'm going to share some pictures that we took of that fantastic tree back there, and then Becky is going to continue with some of the facts we found out about this building. So please do enjoy.
Yeah. There it is. It's just started to darken, but that's one of my favourite photos. Not just because I think it's a lovely composition, but I love the symbolism, of that tree coming in there and it's entering the darkness. You could look at it like that. It's entering the darkness and it's turned back to the light, and it's managed to live. I think that's great. I love it. There she is.
This
Wee glimpse
is
of Becky.
Aldham Castle,
There you are, Becky. This is your one of your bits,
which we have
where we're going to hear about Oldham Castle now. And as I said earlier, there's a cool video I just watched by Drone Man Scotland, who put up a new video on this area,
also
really
seen
recent one.
referred to as Oldham, as well as St Bulger's House, another location referencing the Christian missionary.
With the tree just lying on it. It's wild, isn't it? It's a really impressive sight.
This is one of those where very little is actually known about the background history of the castle, with douglashistory.co.uk calling it non-existent. It is said to have been built sometime after 1550 by the Otterburn family. Originally, it had yellow harling, which would have made it stand out from its surroundings. There was also said to have been a Barmkin-style wall around it, which has disappeared, partly due to a cliff collapse and partly due to quarrying.
So there was
It's
quarrying
unknown
confirmed.
how it came to be in this state.
Look at that. There it is. There it is in its glory. That's really, it makes you really wonder. It makes me wonder, like, it's fascinating.
But it is believed...
I agree, the brutalist architecture. Oh, and living in Edinburgh, you know, it's really hard to watch because you see it, you know, eating away at the city very slowly. I believe that's just my opinion, but I do believe
was
that.
occupied and damaged by Cromwell's army during the 12-day bombardment of Tantallon, similar to how other buildings have been occupied at this time, allegedly. Whatever happened, it is both tragic and magical to see it here today, hidden away in the trees.
So thank you so much for joining us today. It has been quite a long video, hasn't it?
It has,
hasn't
it?
Really interesting, I think. I do think that
it
lots
really
of parts
was.
of this, the Gegan, has been fabricated and
beautiful
it's
castle.
not natural.
Yeah, it really was.
What do
beautiful.
you think? Please do let us know in the comments.
I wonder what
Before
it was
you go,
like.
though,
What was used
as
for.
always, we have a wee sneak peek, and today the wee sneak peek is of our next Hunting for History video, which is up in Scotland, Aberdeenshire, at a place called the Burnavat.
Let's check it out. The wee bonus. Let's go.
So thank you so much once again for joining us. Really is appreciated.
Thank you for joining us.
If you did like the video,
Indeed.
maybe give it a wee like.
Or maybe subscribe if you haven't already.
That's a
And
good
don't
idea.
forget to share
Maybe
your thoughts in the
subscribe
comments,
if you
'cause
haven't
it really
already.
does actually steer our thinking quite a lot of the time.
Or give a wee like.
Because we're just normal people, just looking around.
We're
So
just
thank you so
normal
much.
people. Did you hear that? We're
Whatever
just normal
happens, we
people.
hope you will join
Whatever
us
that
again
is.
next time. But thanks so much.
And that, we never actually said what that is. For anyone that's interested, what's this one called again? I wrote it down because I always forget the name of these things. Berwick Law. Berwick Law. And there's actually, I think there's a big whalebone on the top of this. I think it's just a replica now. But yeah, another interesting spot of the area.
Cheerio.
And I think that's it for this video. For that one. That was it. Yeah, that was before we had the drums. Back in the day. Can you believe it? Yeah. Thanks so much for joining me for that watch through. So if you have noticed anything that I have not, please let me know. And leave it in the comments after this video is a video, I guess. And I will try to include it and look into it a little bit more on the visit next week. Now, I did promise a quick channel update. A little channel update just to let you know what's happening. Because one of the things I'm terrible at on this channel is keeping up to date with what's going on and letting people know what's happening with the channel. And YouTube also doesn't like that. And I'm really going to try for the next period of time, for the next, as long as I can see, to try and do a lot more. So I'm going to try better to keep up with it. So we're working on a few things at the moment. I've got a new, as you can see, we've got a new Gegan video coming up. So I'm working on that right now. One thing I never said earlier is that I have already done one visit to the Gegan. So I've already been back, believe it or not, but I didn't go to the actual Gegan, as you know it. I went along the coast. And anyone that saw our last video, you may have seen a little sneak peek of that. But I will show a little bit before I leave today, don't worry. As well as the Gegan, I'm working on a new video on Roslin Glen. So anyone that likes those Roslin Glen videos, it's also been a little while since we were at Roslin Glen. And Roslin Glen is a magical place. If you've not been to Roslin Glen, and if you've not seen those videos, you need to check them out. They are, Roslin Glen, especially the second video, because some of the things there is absolutely mind-boggling. And I don't see many arguments that are convincing that these aren't from something really, really, really old. So we're going back there. And I should say, actually, I've been sitting on a third Rosalind video for a long time because I found out something really interesting. Really interesting. I'm going to save it for the video, but I thought it was fascinating. Another little fact, something that we found on an old map, which seemed to allude to something in the area, and I thought that was really interesting. So that's going to be in that one. I've also got a big list of places, to be honest, that I want to visit and that I'm going to be visiting whenever I get time. Things have been slow on the channel. Oh, I've just dropped a pen. Things have been slow on the channel for the last couple of months because they are the busiest at my work and I fell behind on the videos. But I have well and truly picked back up now. So we've got a few things on the way there, as I said. But if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments and I will look into them. We've also have an email address, which I have actually received emails before, would you believe it, with some suggestions, and I am looking into those things, and I've replied to those people, so thank you for that. So there's that as well. And finally, very finally, on the what's coming up future, so there's a lot of things that I'm not going to say, obviously, in that list. Really exciting, cool places. But finally, I should say that for Halloween, we are Spookies. We always have a video at Halloween. That's what we do here. So yeah, on Halloween, we're going to have a video that's a little bit different. It's not a new video per se, but it is a new video. It's what you just saw there. The little sneak peek that we saw in that last video that we were just viewing of Vat. What we've done is, I was always annoyed with myself with that video. I uploaded it and saved it in the wrong quality. It was much better quality than it was. So it's going to get uploaded back again, and what I've done is I've went back and remastered it. So we've added a new voiceover. I get carried away, you know what I'm like. I've ended up editing a few wee bits differently, and yeah, it's looking good so far, but there's still a wee bit to do in it. But that will be up on Halloween, so there'll be a video on Halloween, Vat remastered. So look out for that. It's going to be really fun. It's a really good adventure, actually. And I was always annoyed that I never did it its justice. So I'm hoping that the new version will do it justice. And with that, that's the channel update pretty much. There's a couple other things. There's something that I'm hoping to work on, but I don't want to say because it might not happen. But yeah, there's some stuff. So look out for posts, I would say, if you're interested in anything like that. But thank you so much to everyone joining us. Maybe catch up with some of the chat. Oh, my headphone just came out. Thank you so much, all the way from Italy, watching me blab on in this Scottish accent. Incredible. Thanks for joining. Time Lord Guy, thanks so much for joining us. Scotland is a treasure trove for old worldly stuff. I believe that, and I agree with you there. And I do believe that. Like even the buildings, you know how people talk about Tartaria and all those sort of things, old civilizations. See if you want to. A lot of people talk about Edinburgh. I think you should check out Glasgow if you're into like Tartaria and all these old sort of ideas. Glasgow's one of the most fascinating cities, I believe, in terms of some of those buildings. I honestly think it's mind blowing, and we have talked about doing a video in Glasgow for a while, just never done it yet. Just time. That's what it is. Time. If I had time, I would do it, but I will get to Glasgow sometime and show you some of those amazing buildings and there's lots of great channels, by the way, on YouTube, of course, already showing you a lot of that stuff, but, you know, I'd love to do it with our own little spin and show you some of that stuff, because I think it's mind-boggling. Kentucky. Wow, I never knew that you were cafes in Kentucky. This is amazing. Listen, thanks so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. I did not think anyone was going to be here. And to see people joining for the whole stream, it's been amazing to see. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I don't take it lightly. Genuinely, it is genuinely appreciated. Thank you so much for joining me. So when I leave, I'm going to leave you with a little preview of something coming up. Some of you may have seen it. This bit's tiny, maybe a few seconds longer than the preview I put in the last video. But it's something that may or may not, and what I mean is it is, connected to the Gegan. This place is nearby the Gegan, and that really makes me wonder, is this a fabricated coastline? What do you think? I'll leave you with this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for all the lovely comments. I really do appreciate it. And let me know if you want to see any more lives like this, and we'll maybe do another one. Fellow Scott, good to see you there. Cheers. So here is, we're going to go to an upcoming scene from our new Gegan video that I'm working on. Let me know what you think of it, and hopefully I'll see you next time. And with that, all that's left to say is cheerio. Thanks for joining me so much. Cheers and goodbye.